What's up and welcome back to another episode of Next Door Conversations with me, Amara. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about BeautyMaxxing. Yes, we're going to be talking about all things beauty and vanity on this episode, as well as the African girlhood experience. Yes, this is going to be a very interesting episode, so stick around for it. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Amara and this is Next Door Conversations, my podcast where I talk about trending news, viral content, something on social media and in the world at large. If you like what you're listening to, make sure that you're following the podcast, ring the notification bell so every time I drop an episode, you get a notification. Also, don't forget to share this episode with a friend because I'm sure there's someone in your circle of friends that's interested in topics as these. And don't forget to give this podcast a 5-star rating, guys. This is a 5-star podcast, so please give me 5 stars. And without so much yapping, let's get straight into the episode. So this episode was inspired by a video that I saw online. I actually saw this video on IG. I spend a lot of time on IG these days, but I guess that's just where I am right now in my life. So there's this video from this creator where she was positing the idea that African girls, the whole Africa or the whole continent of Africa, African girls are raised to not beauty max or looks max in the same way our counterparts in Asia, in Latin America, in Caucasia, I guess, in England, in Europe, wherever the white people are from. And she was talking about how this is especially common amongst first daughters. I'm going to play a clip of her saying all of that. But before I do, I'm sure there's some people that are listening to this or watching this and probably having an aneurysm thinking about what looks maxing or beauty maxing could possibly be. Don't worry, I got you. I didn't bother doing any research for this episode, guys. I literally just went into Claude AI and typed what I could find. So we're just going to read what Claude tells us beauty maxing is. So Claude says, beauty maxing, also called looks maxing, is internet slang for actively trying to maximize your physical attractiveness, basically optimizing your appearance, the way someone might optimize a resume or a workout routine. It usually covers things like skincare, grooming, fitness and body composition, style, soft fixes like teeth whitening or aligners, to hard fixes like more extreme versions of the trend edge into things like jaw surgery or pseudoscience practices like mewing, which I don't know what exactly that is. Anyway, it's popular in certain online spaces like TikTok, Reddit, some men's forums, and it ranges from pretty reasonable advice to more obsessive or extreme territory where people fixate heavily on facial ratios and symmetry. And actually, I have noticed a lot of this on social media. If you've been on social media online, I'm sure you've seen some of those videos where people are literally like looking for how symmetrical a person's face is, and they're drawing lines on people's faces and trying to determine their level of beauty based on the symmetry. There are so many videos, people doing this whole looks maxing, beauty maxing thing, trying to reach the highest level of the ceiling of beauty while they are young. And it is very concerning to me, I must say. It is very concerning how incel culture has now become mainstream. Like, that's just telling of where we are in society right now, that we are all embracing this thing rooted in incel culture. But anyway, I'm just going to play a clip of what the lady said, and then I'll give you my take.
Traditional African households do not encourage beauty maxing, especially on their firstborn daughters. I've noticed that there is a knowledge and practice gap between African girls raised in traditional households, especially to the firstborn, versus those who are not raised in traditional households, whether that's within their own community or outside of their community. Now, I don't want this to be conflated with grooming and hygiene, because a lot of African girls in traditional African homes are really emphasized to have a good grip on your grooming and your hygiene. But in terms of beauty enhancements and speaking to things that will enhance your already existing beauty, that is not a conversation you're typically seeing two African daughters from their African parents. In contrast, their counterparts have parents that are telling them, okay, this looks good on you, this doesn't look good on you, this silhouette matches your figure, this one doesn't, this one highlights this features, this one doesn't. So what you get is, years later, when people are in their early and mid-20s, there's a demographic of people that already have an understanding of what looks good for them, hence beauty maxing, and another demographic that is just starting to figure out what that is. So there is a knowledge and practice gap of several years.
While I do get what she's saying, I have to say I have some qualms with how she says African girls. Like, Africa is not just West Africa. We're talking about Egypt, Tunisia, Algeria. We're also including South Africa and Kenya and Eritrea and Djibouti and Senegal. While we're introducing all these countries and we're saying this is how it is for every African girl, and I just do not agree or even believe that. I will say I don't come from a particularly traditional African upbringing, but definitely I will admit that there was less of an emphasis on beauty growing up as opposed to grooming. There was definitely an emphasis on wear deodorant, cut your hair, cut your nails, ensure your home is clean, ensure where you are living in is clean. Like, just be clean, be neat. But no one really cared about beauty. No one really actually gave a hoot about beauty while you were growing up because you were a child. And so, yeah, definitely growing up and hearing that in certain parts of the world, it's okay for children to rub cortex or for young girls to do attachments or to rub growth oils or growth serums on your hair. Like, that was something that really shocked me, especially about Indian girls. I want to go as far as to say every Indian girl had this upbringing, but I did get this sense that growing up, Indian girls were taught about the importance of beauty and maintaining beauty and, the long hair. And so many of our natural hair practices that we African girls are now adopting, so many of them we got from Indians or the Southeast Asians, really. For everything from rice water to using Ayurveda to amla oil, so many oils, so many growth serums. It all comes from India, really. Even the henna that's the rage right now, it's India. Am I obsessed with India? Maybe I am. Absolutely. Growing up, BeautyMaxxing was not a thing. And to be honest, I'm not even that mad at it. I'm actually grateful that I had several years where I didn't have to worry about all these things like, my hair or the color of my nails or skincare or whatever. Like, I could just be a kid or a teenager and roam free. I could cut my hair and nobody will look at me sideways. Well, people did look at me sideways, to be honest. It just seems so rooted in capitalism. It just seems so rooted in buy this, buy beauty, okay? Because beauty is important. And I won't lie, yes, beauty is important. But beauty is not everything. Beauty is important, but it is not everything. When I actually think of my African girlhood, I think it's very unconventional. I feel like a lot of people that might hear this might think I had a very strange upbringing, but my household was the opposite of a traditional household, okay? By the age of 6, my auntie was dressing us in mini skirts, leggings, show me your back. It was a whole thing. I was never made to feel a certain way for wearing clothes that exposed my body because I was a child. And my auntie understood I was a child, but the world didn't understand I was a child, and they had a problem with that. For the longest time growing up, I actually thought she was dressing me up like a hooker. It wasn't until I actually deep did that I was a child and she was just letting me be that I realized that, she was actually giving me something that so many young African girls do not have or never even got to have. From a very young age, young black girls, our bodies are sexualized, like from as young as 2 months. Literally, as we're coming out of the womb. That is the society that we live in. You hear stories after stories of months-old baby girls getting raped, getting sexually abused, it's not even rape, it's defilement. It's actually defilement, not rape. Because those babies can't consent to shit. The sexualization of black girls' bodies from childhood to adolescence to adulthood, it is prevalent. And so I think a natural byproduct would be moms being a lot more cautious with what their children wear, which is quite unfortunate because we're just upholding the inevitability of pedophilia in our society. And which is probably why we have landed where we are right now. Looking back, I do appreciate the fact that my auntie gave me that opportunity that so many young girls did not have. I do, however, wish that extended to my hair and natural beauty because I feel like that's something that African girls are actively taught to hate. Like, we are taught, raised out of the womb to hate the length of our hair, the texture of our hair, even the color of our skin. And so we're consistently chasing artificial beauty standards, the long fake lashes, the long fake nails, the long fake hair. Literally, story of my life. I think things are a lot better now, though. I think a lot more people are warming up to and embracing their natural beauty. I know that's definitely something that I am doing, even though I literally have a wig on my head right now. But yeah, I am working on loving myself, on loving my hair, on enhancing, I will not use the incel term BeautyMaxxing, but definitely enhancing my natural beauty and sort of like figuring out the things I like and the things I don't like. Like, for instance, there's something very stereotypically feminine, which is long nails. People say, as a lady, you're supposed to have your nails manicured and it's supposed to be long. I fucking hate, I just cussed on this podcast. I fucking hate long nails. I hate anything that is past. I want to be able to feel, what's the pad? I want to be able to feel the pad of my fingers. I hate when there's something obstructing that. I really hate long nails. And so that will never change. I hate lashes. I hate really long lashes. I feel like it's very irritating. That is never going to change. But I don't mind growing out my own lashes. I do mind growing out my own nails. That's why you'll never see my nails long. My nails are always cut short. What else? Edges. That's something that I'm also enhancing. In fact, I bought a derma roller. I'm not even kidding, guys. I bought a derma roller because I want to grow my edges back. Definitely into all the hair care stuff. Definitely into natural hair care stuff as well. And so yeah, that really is my enhancements, not BeautyMaxxing routine. and how I am redefining beauty now. Now, just as the last point, I want to make reference to the politics of beauty maxing. Now, a lot of people are not just beauty maxing for the love of the game. They are not in here just to have fun. A lot of people beauty maxing are doing it for specific reasons. Some people believe that beauty maxing can change everything from career prospects to future partners. A beautiful face will sincerely get you into rooms you never thought you ever would get into. The thing is, they may get you into those rooms, but they certainly will not keep you there. As vain and as shallow and as doggone stupid as it is, beauty maxing is definitely here to stay. It did not start in 2015 when the incels figured out what it was, and it's definitely not going to end anytime soon. Humans are very, very visual creatures. I mean, that's just genuinely what I think about beauty maxing and African girlhood. You let me know your thoughts on social media, as always, at nextdoorpod, _ at Amara Nextdoor, #nextdoorpod. Did you have a similar girlhood experience? Share with me your stories on social media. I would definitely love to hear them. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.